It's a Condemn playstyle. It is to maximize the effectiveness of the Condemn playstyle. Maximize it. You can't maximize the Condemn playstyle and chase at the same time. You can do either one or the other. You either hard focus on chasing, hard focus on gen regression, or gen slowdown, or you hard focus on your power, right? So with Sadako, I hard focus on her power. I hard focus on gaining Condemn stacks. Like I said, you can only do one thing with your... There's really only one thing you can do with... Or one major thing you can do with your character, right? Especially when it's the character as bad as Sadako. There's only one thing you can really do at a time. She's a terrible chase character, so... You could try to optimize her for chase if you want to. And I've done that. I have a build for chase. I'll show it to you really quickly. So I have a build for a lot of different things. I don't just have a Condemn playstyle with Sadako. As contrary to what many people might believe, this is not the only way that I play Sadako. I feel like I've gotten to a level of, I won't say expertise, but at least a level of skill with Sadako where I can run multiple types of different build types and still do well with them. Usually, I don't want to switch up my build too much right now because this is what I'm currently using. But usually what I'll use if I'm doing like a pure chase Sadako is I'll use things like Bamboozle and Save the Best for Last. Save the Best for Last. I'll use things like, what was that other one that I literally just mentioned a moment ago? Sometimes Play With Your Food. Play With Your Food is actually one that I used to use pretty often with Sadako. I have used things like Pop. I have used things like Rapid Brutality with Sadako. I have used things like Superior Anatomy. I've made a pure chase build, which was Superior Anatomy, Bamboozle, Play With Your Food, and Save the Best for Last. Or no, Superior Anatomy. So here was the build exactly. Superior Anatomy, Bamboozle, Play With Your Food, and Fire Up. The Freddy Mercury. The Freddy Krueger perk that makes you speed up vaults and other actions with every generator that gets done. And with that particular build, it's designed to play around the survivors quickly finishing the generators, right? It's pure chase. The more generators they get done, the faster I become, the more dangerous I become. That's my pure chase build, but I don't use it that often. Why? Because Condemn is fun. The Condemn playstyle is fun. It's fun to optimize her power. You know, her power is essentially useless if you don't optimize it. Here's the thing about Sadako's power. It's either useless or it's the only useful thing, right? So if you're actually going for Condemn procs, you have to commit to it hard, or you're not going to get them. They're going to relieve their pressure. They're going to relieve their stacks. They're going to keep their televisions off. You're going to lose pressure. They're going to finish the generators. They're going to escape, and you're going to lose. So the only way, if you want to play with Sadako's Condemn playstyle, you have to focus on it specifically. Hence the build. This build was specifically created to always know where survivors are, or to keep them injured or get quick hits on them. You know, because you cannot take your time chasing survivors with this build. You cannot. Because if you spend more than one tile, meaning, say they pull down a pallet and now you gotta break it and follow them to another tile, or they stunned you with that pallet, or they jumped even a window, a strong enough window where they bought enough time, even 10 or 15 seconds is enough time. So if there's any tile that a survivor can reach that's going to cause them to be able to extend the chase for any longer than literally 10 seconds, you've already lost that chase in the context of trying to spread Condemn pressure. Because those 10 to 15 seconds are more than enough for a survivor to go get a tape and find that television they need to put it away at to relieve the pressure. And relieving their stacks is, I mean, that's a lot of relief. One Depositing one tape for a survivor is 3 stacks of your condemn. That's 3 teleports that you did wasted for every survivor that deposits the tape into a television. 3 of your teleports just gone to waste. And that's why the Condemn playstyle fails for so many people, is because you lose so much pressure with so many survivors putting away their tapes. And this is why I run this build of Hex Undying, Hex Face the Darkness, Remote Control. These give you a lot of aura reading and a lot of every time a survivor screams, you can see where they screamed at because it shows their aura for a little while. There's a TV nearby them, you teleport to them, you spread a stack. If they happen to run by a dull totem, you can see them with Hex Undying. You see their aura. If there's a TV nearby it, you just teleport to it. And if you teleport to a television that's nearby them, because you've seen them with either Hex Face the Darkness, with Remote Control, or with Hex Undying, you got Bloody Fingernails and Coup de Grace to catch up to them. So you've teleported, you saw their aura, you teleported, because you saw them with Face the Darkness or Remote Control or Hex or Undying. You saw there was a TV nearby where they were, you teleported to it, they got a stack, but now they saw where you teleported to. But surprise, you've got Bloody Fingernails and Coup de Grace. So you got a massive speed boost and a massive basic attack lunge with Coup de Grace. They see you coming, and so many times I've gotten a survivor who tried to go to a safe tile and even ignore a pallet. Not ignore, where you know how save pallets, they greet a pallet because they think they've gotten enough distance on me because of how far away I teleported. But I had the Coup de Grace and Bloody Fingernails, which gave me a massive speed lunge, and they didn't even notice. They don't see that. They just see you teleporting out of the television. They don't see you speed lunge out of it until it's too late. And by the time they've realized it, they've either already taken a hit or gone down. And a lot of times, that's how I will get my Condemn kills, by chasing them down with the Coup de Grace / Bloody Fingernails combo. And this is a lot of the time where you'll see people start to quit games. Because they're like, they just gotten pissed at this point. It's like, this guy got me condemned, and now he speed bursted to me with Coup de Grace and Bloody Fingernails. Fuck this guy. And they will literally just start quitting. There's so many games where I started, where it happens exactly like that. They've gotten fully condemned. I've found them with my aura reading. I've speed lunged to them with Bloody Fingernails and Coup de Grace, downed them, and before I even get a chance to condemn them, they just quit. It happens all the time. And that's unfortunately the realistic truth about playing Sadako, if you want to get good at Sadako's Condemn playstyle, is that people don't like it. And then you'll get people like I got on my last video talking about how somehow it's wrong for you to play that way. Somehow it's not okay. Somehow their way of playing the game is better than your way of playing the game. You should listen to them. They're right and you're wrong. So you get people talking to you like that you shouldn't play this way because you're not engaging with survivors and all this crybaby stuff, right? And the truth is, you'll start to realize that a lot of the survivors you play against will be such crybabies that they will just give you stuff like that, trash talk you in in-game chat, or just prematurely quit. And that's the sad truth of being a good Sadako player. You can't hyper-focus her Condemn playstyle without people crying about it. Even though there's a clear and easy way to counter it, right? You cannot be greedy and just use the tiles the way they were meant to be safely used, right? You can pre-drop stuff. Very strong against Sadako, because Coup de Grace and Bloody Fingernails means nothing to us against a Sadako. I mean, against a pre-dropping survivor, right? Because it doesn't matter how much speed burst and how much lunge you get. If you pre-drop a pallet, you're not going to hit them, right? And that's just the way you play against a Sadako. You deny her hits. She already gets very few opportunity to get hits anyway. And if you deny the very few that she's got, because if somebody drops a pallet and makes it to another tile, even you'll notice in my games when I've gotten somebody condemned, if somebody's fully condemned but they're starting to pre-drop and play tiles really efficiently, I still have to drop chase with them. I still have to drop chase with them because I can't kill them because I can't catch them because they pre-dropped or they use the tiles safely. That's the way to counter. That's the way to counter Condemn playstyle Sadako. Because you can get condemned all day, but if she can't reach you, if she can't catch you, then you're just shit out of luck, right? And this tends to happen more with survivors who are cocky, who greed pallets, who fake pallets, who window tech, you know, and all that stuff is cool and fun, right? But against a Sadako that's already got you condemned, that's a very dangerous game to play, all right? But some people get overconfident, but then and which is fair. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them playing like that. I know that's a fun way to play Survivor, right? But it's a cocky way to play Survivor. Just like the Condemn playstyle is a kind of a cocky way to play Sadako. Because what happens if every Survivor knows exactly how to play against it? They literally all survive. And they all leave. I've had many games where the entire team survives. Because they play safely and smartly against the Sadako, right? But you get, like I said, you do get a lot of cocky Survivor players who try to greed pallets or they try to, you know, fake pallets, fake windows. They try to do a lot of these demi plays and JRM plays against you, right? And then when they don't work, they just quit, and then they blame you for playing the way you did, even though it was not your fault. There's always a counterplay to everything, literally, except for maybe a nurse. but that's a general rule of thumb when you're playing Sadako, is that you'll see when I'm not there to get the kills, or when they play the tiles very safely, pre-drop pallets, play the windows correctly. When they deny me hits, I have to leave the tile and go prioritize somebody else. And then if all the survivors play like that, because I just eventually just have to find a weak link, somebody who will fake a tile or fake a pallet, somebody who will greed a pallet, somebody who will fake a window, somebody who will go for the sneak for the funny things, the funnies that a lot of the survivors go for, and catch them slipping and then kill them. That's how I get my wins, is when I catch somebody slipping. But if every survivor is on their A game, this doesn't work. It doesn't. It doesn't work. And a pure chase build often does work better. That's just the way it tends to be. So, in the end of the day, if you want to play the Sadako Condemn playstyle, it is fun. Most teams will have one or two links who will fuck it up. It's just the way it is, especially in public matches. This wouldn't work in competitive games because everybody just knows how to play optimally, right? But in these public matches, there seems to almost always be at least one survivor who will push their limits and try to be funny and then get mad when it doesn't go well, right? And that will snowball the game for you, because at that moment, when one survivor dies and you've only got 3 left and almost all generators are left, it's almost guaranteed that you'll be able to finish it, or only 1 or 2 survivors escape, right? But if you can get that pressure up really fast, really early, which is what you see I do in these games, I start the pressure really fast, really early, and keep all the televisions off as soon as I can, so that the survivors don't have any televisions to grab tapes from, so they can relieve the pressure, right? You'll see that you have to put the pressure on really fast and really early, so you catch the weak ones really fast and really early, and you figure out, you know, who you need to focus and who you need to prioritize the condemns on, so you can catch the more experienced players or the more careful players. You don't even necessarily need to be more experienced, you just need to be more careful to win against Sadako. But against the Condemn playstyle Sadako. But then again, there are different playstyles, like the chase playstyle that I mentioned earlier, that you can play, and more people will. You are more likely to pip with those, because you are more likely to get more hooks and more kills without people leaving matches prematurely because they're mad that you found an optimal way to condemn them, and they're mad that you learn how to use your power. Is what it really boils down to. Is people upset that you know how to use your power and they haven't properly figured out how to play against it, even though there's a very clear way to play against it. I as a Sadako main have played against other Sadako mains who've tried to use this Condemn playstyle, and I got around it. You know, I've been able to beat it, albeit it was hard. But because if you're really good at playing the Condemn playstyle, it's going to be hard. But if you're also very good at knowing how to play against it, you're going to be able, especially if the entire team knows how to play against it. The more people in the team know how to play against the Sadako playstyle, Condemn playstyle, the easier it is to play against it. Because if only one person knows how to play against it, and everybody else is dying to it, then you're going to be left alone in the end, right? But if everybody knows how to play against it, then everybody pretty much plays safely, and her plan, her strategy pretty much goes to shit. And that's happened to me, and I've also done it against other Sadako players in the past. But anyways, that's all I pretty much want to say about Sadako right now. In the future, when we start kind of like increasing in viewership, we'll do some more like Let's Plays, and I'll just do them live and stuff. But as it stands right now, I really don't have much of a presence right now on Twitch. And I don't really want to play right now just for the sake of playing. But I'll do some like gameplay videos where I'll upload videos of how I play. But not at the moment. For now, I'll talk, because I think what's important is talking about how to use her, because when I'm playing her live, it's hard for me to focus on how to explain how to do it. And I know that's it's a visual example is usually a little bit easier for a lot of people, but I have a hard time kind of doing that and talking at the same time. But I'll give it a try. I'll try to do my best at it in future games. But if you watch at this point, thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate you trying to learn. And if you don't like the Sadako playstyle, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. It is what it is. It's a part of the game, and people are going to use it. And if you know how to play against it, and you're not a crybaby, good for you. Good for you for learning, because I learned how to do it too, and I'm not even a survivor main. But anyways, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, and appreciate you for joining me on this how to play Sadako video.